So nuclear fusion is essentially the fusing of atoms together, and happens at sort of high temperature and high pressures when atoms smash together that way. And it releases a great deal of energy when it happens. It releases all the power that the sun gives us, and it's also, unfortunately, the power that's inside H-bombs. It's opposed to fission, which is atoms splitting apart. In an atomic bomb, for example, uranium fizzes, it splits apart and releases energy that way. Both processes give you a lot of energy, but fusion is nice in that the byproducts aren't radioactive elements the way that you get with fission. So in terms of generating electricity from nuclear fusion, it's happening right now, but it's called the sun. And we get it from the sun's nuclear fusion reactor, and we use solar panels to collect it. In terms of us making a fusion reactor here that we generate power from, realistically it's going to take a couple of decades for the big program in Europe called ITER to produce a prototype, and then to scale that up would be more. So we're talking maybe 5 decades till we have power from fusion. In the news sort of result from the Energy Department, the National Ignition Facility, is a different kind of scheme than even ITER. It's one that's designed more to test H-bombs rather than to produce power for, powering your blender or turning lights on. So people are excited about the results from the National Ignition Facility, which is an Energy Department facility that cost about $3.5 billion to make, because they hit this crucial point where they got more energy out of the envelope that they shot with lasers than they put into it, at least in terms of the lasers. So they shot 1.5 megajoules of laser energy into this thing, and they got about 3 megajoules of energy out of it. More out than you put in. That's very exciting. It actually works by shooting 192 lasers all at once at a little tiny metal envelope that has some heavy water inside of it, causing the atoms inside that to fuse and give you the fusion reaction. And so it sort of represents a line where you're reaching this wonderful returns point where, getting something for nothing is always a good deal. The hope is that will lead to some kind of power scheme where we can someday use this kind of technology in order to get more out of it than we put into it and then have free energy. The catch is it took 300 megajoules to power the lasers that shot the envelope they gave us, which is not free. You're down 297 megajoules. And so until we lick that one, this is going to be kind of a tough sell. Can you expect this to be powering your house in your lifetime? Well, how old are you? If you're really young, then maybe something like this would be, but for the foreseeable, it's not going to. It's just going to take too much work to scale up this technology to something workable, because the efficiencies to get it to work in the first place are such that it's not really energy for nothing. The problem is that the National Ignition Facility actually isn't a power development plan. It's actually a way to test H-bombs. So the idea is that they're looking at reactions that happen inside H-bombs inside this Energy Department facility. In the middle of all this, it's worth noting that we already do have a fusion reactor that's free and giving us something for nothing, and that's the sun. And it is producing energy for solar panels, which are getting cheaper every year. And, much more cheaply than building a fusion reactor or investing in it, you could just build a heck of a lot of solar panels, and that would provide free energy, essentially, for us at a much cheaper, better rate.